Welcome to Truth and Company Boxing Podcast for another segment of 20 random questions. And tonight's guest is professional boxer, heavyweight Timothy Mayhem Moten. How you doing, Timothy?
How's it going? How you doing, John?
I'm great, man. I appreciate you taking time to come on.
I'm
So
glad.
do
I'm
we
glad we
do you
linked.
do you have anything lined up right now that the fans can learn about? You got any fights in the workings or no?
So I know for a fact that March 17th, I'm going down to Miami. I got picked up to fight on the Miami Assassins in the something called the Team Combat League. So it's basically a team format for professional boxing. I think there's 12 teams across the nation. Um, this is season two, one round fighting, and that's gonna keep me busy. And then once this season's over, the promoters around here told me that they're gonna be lining up to put on 2 or 3 shows. So, I said I wanted a busy year, so I definitely got a busy one. So first up is Team Combat League.
Nice, and I'm glad you brought that up. I've actually had a few guys on my show before that are part of that league. And yes, it is a little different, but it's exciting. The boxers seem to love it because it keeps them busy. I
Yeah.
mean, there's no feel out time. There's no a lot of time to be assessing the
Oh,
jab or anything like that. It's almost like bringing back the amateur style a little bit. But you guys are pros. You got one round. You guys got so many people on a team. You
yeah.
guys got to kind of earn. You guys go one after another, and there's a lot of fights in one night, right?
Yeah, there's I think it's like 18 fights, 18 rounds
And
in one
there's
night.
females and there's males on the team,
Yep.
right?
Yep, females and males on the team. And let me see. And it's a fight a week, so I think you do your 1 or 2 rounds every week for until the season's over. So I'm
Yeah, so
excited.
yeah, it keeps you in shape, man. Keeps you busy, keeps your mindset focused on the ring. So yeah, I
Yeah.
hope you have fun with it. So anybody that's out there, man, keep track of Timothy's page and keep up what he's doing with this fight league.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's get into these random 20 questions. Are you ready for them?
I'm ready.
All right, question one: how did you get involved in the sport of boxing?
I started boxing when I was 12 years old. My father took me to the boxing gym because I was overweight playing football. Played little league football, and here in little league football, you have to be under a certain weight to run the football. And I used to do it when I was younger, and I got chunky, and I was put on the line, and I didn't like playing football on the line. So I asked my dad. I said, hey, for the summer, I want to figure out a way to lose weight, and he took me to the boxing gym. And in that summer, I lost my first 2 fights. And he was like, listen, football season ain't kicked back off yet. You want to end the boxing career on 2 losses, or you want to come back and get some work, try to get you some wins? I came back, and that tail end of the year, right before football season started again, I ran off 5 wins, and I won the Silver Gloves, the state and regional tournament. And from then on, it's just been history. I liked the way it felt when I won, when it was just me getting my hand raised in the trophy. So from there on, I said drop football, so it's boxing.
So you never went back on the football field.
Never went back on the football field. I played a little. I played a little in high school. I played my junior year in high school, but that was mainly just because I wanted to play with my friends and the guys I knew from high school. But I was still boxing during high school, so
Okay.
nothing serious.
All right, question two. What boxers, heavyweight boxers, have inspired you in your career?
Um, I think the heavyweight boxers that inspire me are Orlin Norris. I like to watch Orlin Norris. I like to watch Dwight Muhammad Kwai. I like to watch David Tua, Mike Tyson, Rocky Marciano, all of them short guys. I like watching the short fighters and any short heavyweight, Joe Frazier. But my main one that I watch and adapted his mentality would have to be I like watching interviews with David Tua. He's definitely my guy that I would say inspired me to. He inspires the way that I think and kind of my approach to coming to in the ring.
Okay. All right, question three. Do you have any hobbies outside the sport of boxing?
Uh, Any hobbies outside the sport of boxing? You know, when I was coming up, I used to listen to music. I enjoy going on hikes and stuff with my family, but I would say music is a big thing with me. I like listening to it. Um, I used to play the saxophone in high school. Um, so hobbies, taking care of my kids, and hiking and just being a music lover, and that's pretty much it. And boxing.
Okay. Question 4. Do you have any boxing superstitions?
I don't. I don't. And that's the funny thing. People, when I'm in the locker rooms, getting ready for these fights, I see these guys superstitions. Some guys tuck things in their socks. Some guys tell me that they only eat, like one guy said that he always had like chicken Alfredo or some type of pasta every time before. Me, I don't. I don't have any superstitions at all. Yeah, no, I just come in and day by day.
Okay. All right. Question 5. So you were a sparring partner of Anthony Joshua's, case a lot of fans don't know. And so can you tell me an interesting story about part of your experience over there sparring with him? Anything, you guys hanging out, anything that happened in sparring, something that the fans might not know.
Um, I would say something interesting that happened was, so in camp, typically what guys do is these high level guys, they bring you in for sparring. That's what you're there for. So typically what they do, um, as far as like their training regiment, their schedule, half the time you don't even see these guys. You only see them when you come to the gym and it's sparring day. One thing that I did in Joshua's camp was, again, I didn't realize this was my first camp ever being at the professional level, and especially at the level that he was at. That this was my first anything when it came to anything more bigger than what I was doing, coming from Louisville. So when I got there, I'm thinking, I brought into the mentality of campus teammates. You're my brother. If I'm helping you get ready for this fight, then you're my brother. If I'm coming to the gym and I meet your best friend who's your manager, well, shoot, we friends too. Just how we do here in Louisville. When you come to the gym, everybody's in the gym and camp together. So I overheard them talking one day, and they said, "Hey, we're gonna run at 6 in the morning. Let's meet here at the gym at 6. We'll go give Joshua's run in. We'll come back, eat breakfast, and then we'll rest and come back and spar later in the day." I showed up at 6 a.m. At the gym waiting on him, and one thing that it was that stuck with me from the camp was that he was like, keep that mentality. Keep the mentality of wanting to do this, because the minute that you really don't want to do it and you don't go to the runs and you feel like that you've done enough, that's when you end up losing or you end up getting hurt or something bad ends up happening. But as long as you keep that that drive to want to be better, and that drive to want to be incorporated in the camp and everything, then you'll win. And it actually changed. I think personally, I think it changed the demeanor and the energy and the vibe of the camp, because after I showed up for that morning run and I showed up for his evening run, and we didn't have his evening workout, and we didn't have sparring, it was kind of mandatory for the sparring partners to start showing up, because you push him. Like, it's better. I don't care what nobody says. When you got somebody working with you, you work way better than you would by yourself. You push through the workouts, you push each other. So it kind of became a thing to where his team, his management team was like, "Hey, listen, guys, we want y'all to show up here. We want y'all to show up here. We want y'all to show up here." So that made us all closer. But definitely the drive to keep wanting to be better.
So now I don't want to go into a long story about this, because I know you've already brought this up in other interviews, but I just want to touch real quick on it. It's kind of funny, you didn't get to be Anthony Joshua's sparring partner in the typical way that a lot of other fighters get sparring partners. You actually searched out and wanted to be a sparring partner for Anthony Joshua, and you were like DMing people in his camp. You were
Yeah.
trying to get other people to DM people in his camp.
Yeah.
And you were like trying to do anything you could on social media or to contact different people that Anthony Joshua might not know in the gym or whatever to get Anthony Joshua and his people to bring you in, right?
Right. So I was just, my whole goal was to get my profile, to get I come again. I come from hanging with guys in the high school football world. I come from, my cousin played football at D1 college, and he went on to play for the New Orleans Saints. So I kind of was hip to, if you got a highlight tape, you got to send it to these coaches. If you got something that you feel like that they'll benefit from, you got to reach out and get to them. So I knew that Eddie Hearn and Joshua were turning right around and getting in camp to get ready for this Andy Ruiz too, to get his belts back. And I had to figure out a way to get my face in front of them, because I knew when they seen, because Andy Ruiz is also inspiration for me, to me, because of the way his style and our builds, our height, our size, our width, everything is similar. So I knew that from me studying him, they were going to find nobody else who could mimic his style enough for him and be functional enough and dangerous enough in sparring for him to be able to get ready for Ruiz. And so I reached out to his team. I started from his former sparring partners. Then I went and found out his best friend. His best friend at the time didn't have a. His best friend at the time his name was KD, and he was in the pictures with him. And I was
Man,
like,
I'm
man,
sure glad you didn't DM his girlfriend or anything, did you?
no.
Okay.
But look, I was on my PI. I was on my pick because I knew this was my opportunity. I wasn't gonna let it pass without somebody telling me no from his camp. So I DM'd his friend KD. And funny story, KD didn't get it first. Believe it or not, Eddie Hearn seen me before KD did. So and I had messaged Eddie Hearn. I sent him 2 messages. Sent him one of my box rec because I was 5-0 at the time, and I sent him a video of me hitting the heavy bag. And then when he seen it, he said that he was next to KD, and KD said that he looked in his inbox and seen where I inboxed him too. So when they both seen it, they was like, all right, we're going back to the UK. You got 2 weeks to show us that you can help him.
And
that 2 weeks.
how long did you actually end up sparring with Anthony Joshua, for a whole camp or what?
We sparred for 4 months. He started camp really early. He wanted to get right back in the gym after his press run. So and they wanted to know if I could help him prepare. They had already had other sparring partners in mind, but nobody who was as close to Ruiz's size and ability as I was. So they brought me in for 2 weeks, and I was told by he's my good friend now, Nas Muhammad, the Don. He told me, he said, look, man, he said in the contract it says 2 weeks, and they was gonna send you home if you wasn't able to help him in 2 weeks. So I was blessed to be able to be there for 4 months.
Nice.
It worked out.
Well, let me tell you, man, because I've seen on social media that some of these trolls kind of gave you crap about the way you went about this.
Yeah.
As far as those trolls are concerned, I've been involved in boxing for 14 years, and I think what you did was genius.
Thank you.
Not only did you put in the work, you did the research, you reached out to people, and it paid off.
Yeah.
You got over there, you put in the work, you showed them you were real. You spent 4 months over there instead of 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You got a trip overseas for free, and you got paid to spar the man.
And yeah.
So if any of you young boxers are out there and you're listening to this, you don't let people stop you in this sport. What you want to do, you don't care about the boxing trolls, you don't care about the social media. It's about you and about your career. Whatever doors you got to open to however you got to open them to get where you need to get in this sport. That's what you do.
Right. Slow. You know what they say here? They say slow feet don't eat. If you don't reach for it, you're not gonna get it. If you think you got the sauce to help, then you better say something. And when it's your turn to step up, you gotta perform. And I feel like I know for a fact that's what I did, because I was there for 4 months, full camp, everything was paid for, and we got a lot of rounds in. With at the best time, the best heavyweight in the world at that time. So I can't. It was crazy experience.
All right. So question 6. What is something that your boxing fans don't know about you?
Something my boxing fans don't know about me. I'm really fast. So from a 0 to about a 25 to 30 yard sprint, I keep up with the best of them.
Okay.
So I'm super fast. You would never think that I was super fast, but I'm super fast.
All right. Question 7. Who is someone in your life that has inspired you outside the sport of boxing?
Uh, I'm gonna have to say my fiance. My fiance, she's a super hardworking woman. She's definitely at this level of boxing, you definitely need a team, and you need someone who supports what you're doing, because uh, it's not lucrative in the beginning. Um, you got to grind and do the hustle and bustle, and she's definitely been on board and on team with me and been my teammate and my partner, and she also, as I'm following my dream and doing what I'm doing, she's been able to help take care of our boys, and she's got a degree, so she's a hard worker too. So definitely my fiance.
Okay. All right. Question 8. Do you collect anything?
Do I collect anything? Uh no, I don't collect anything. You know what? I guess I do collect something. I think I started collecting rocks. So,
Okay. No, just
uh,
just plain rocks or like agates.
just like agate, yeah, like agate. Like when my son is out, he'll see a rock that has like he'll break it, and it may have like little like little shards of crystals in it or something.
Yep.
We'll take it home and put it up on a shelf or something like that. So he's got me interested in that. So I collect those now. I go
Yeah,
ahead.
there's a lot of believe it or not, there's a lot of people that collect those.
Yeah.
All right, question 9. If you could go to outer space, would you go? And who would you take with you?
Mm. That would have to depend on the circumstances. If I could go to outer space and the world is fine, then no, I'm not going to outer space. But if something was happening with the world and I had to go to outer space, um, and I can only take one person with me,
Well, no,
uh,
I'm just saying, who would you take with you?
oh,
Just in general.
I'd have to take my family. I'd take my mom, my dad, my brothers, my fiance, everybody in my family. We would all be on the
Okay.
ship and go.
Okay.
I'd have to have a heavy bag with me too. I'd have to have a heavy. If I don't box, man, my dad told me, he told me when I first started boxing, he said, once you start doing this, you will become you'll become a lover of the trade, and you will never give it up. It's something that'll be with you forever. And he was like, if you love it, it's gonna stay with you, and it has. Like I get feel like I got something in my back or a itch if I don't hit a gym or hit a bag or watch a fight or something.
Okay. All right, question 10. Who's your favorite comic book, cartoon, or movie villain?
Mm, my favorite villain. Uh, my favorite villain. I'm gonna have to go with Joker.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the Joker. Reason I go with the Joker is because if you think about all the other villains, they end up getting beat. But the Joker he never gets like beat and it's over. He's always coming back, always breaking
Okay.
out of Arkham.
All right, question 11. If they invented a new sport, tag team boxing, what current boxer would you choose as your tag team partner?
So it'd be in the same weight class, like two heavyweights.
Yep.
Uh, I have to go with my guy Joshua. I tag team with Joshua.
Okay.
Yeah, me and Joshua, and then if it's around if it's the lower level, I'd have to say I would tag team with a Michael Hunter too.
Okay.
I feel like USA, that'd be a good tag team up. Michael Hunter and me for Team USA, that'd be good.
All right, question 12. Who was the hardest puncher you've ever faced in the ring in a fight or sparring?
So you know what? I was watching the interview that you did with Adrian Taylor. You did it, my guy Montu from Texas, and you asked him his question, and we fought the same guy in the amateurs, and I didn't think about it. So as a pro, the hardest I've been hit was by I'm gonna have to say solid. It's gonna be between Luis Ortiz and Joshua. Joshua hit me with some good body shots. Ortiz caught me with a flash straight left that was really good, a good clean flash straight left. But as an amateur overall, Joshua Temple, like I think overall that guy, Joshua Temple can hit. He can crack. So it'll be between those three are all in the same vicinity, really.
Okay. All right, question 13. What's the first thing you eat after weigh-ins?
I always try to eat something not too heavy, kind of like some spaghetti, maybe some chicken Alfredo or something like that.
Okay. All right. Now this is a hypothetical question, and we know that you have a fiance. So if you don't want to answer this question, I'll come up with a new one.
Okay.
Question 14. If you could go on a date with any celebrity, who would it be?
If I could go on a date with any celebrity, who would it be? Uh, I don't know. I don't know who I would pick. Let's do. I will go on a friendly outing with Adele
Okay.
or Jasmine Sullivan, just so I can hear him sing. That's what I would do. Be a friendly outing with Jasmine Sullivan or Adele.
Okay. That was a good way to cover your butt and not get in trouble. Question 15. What's the best dish you can cook?
The best dish I can cook. Uh, I have to say spaghetti. We call it so it's a big debate that I had one time. We call it chili, but I use noodles in my chili. So they call it spaghetti, I call it chili. You know. So
I
I'll
agree.
have to
I think it's called chili con carne, isn't it? When you put
chili.
noodles in it.
Maybe it is. I don't know. I know we call it chili down here.
Yeah, I think when you add noodles to the chili, I think it's called chili con carne, something like that.
Okay, so I make a good chili con.
Okay. All right. Question 16. Have you ever had to save someone's life?
Uh no, I haven't. You know, I did I did attempt to save someone's life, but later on it was a shooting in my alley and back in my mom's house. There was a shooting in the alley. A young girl was shot, and I had to run downstairs, and I went out back, and she was shot like behind the pile of leaves. So I pulled her out of the leaves because she didn't seem like she was breathing in the leaves, and the ambulance came and everything, and uh, she ended up not making it 2 or 3 days down the road. But if I hadn't been there, the ambulance said that she could have passed away then. But she had a fighting chance, but she didn't make it. So, you know, definitely rest in peace to her. But that's the only
Okay.
time I had an event to where I had to save somebody's life.
Wow.
Try.
Okay. All right. Question 17. What's one of your best boxing memories in your career to this point?
um, my best boxing memory in my career to this point. It'd definitely have to be when I was in camp with Joshua, just being so a lot of people don't realize, but I was such a when I started boxing, I dove into boxing. So I not only know a lot about boxers, current boxers, past boxers. I just know a lot about the sport in general. And I was a big fan of it as well. So I watched a lot of fights, and So I've seen a lot of these guys like Bryant Jennings, Andrew Tabiti, um, Hussein Muhammad. He was a big heavyweight over in Cologne, Germany. Seeing these guys on my YouTube, on my phone, and then watching them on TV, studying some of their fights, going from that to actually training with these guys, traveling with these guys, being in that environment of this great a fighter and holding my own and being one of the guys and understanding I was one of the fighters. That was probably have to be the biggest moment for me because it answered questions that I have being from a small town and training. And I had a good amateur career and I fought a lot of top amateur guys, but I never fought them in different types of tournaments. I only went to like maybe 2 or 3 national tournaments because of money wise and coming from where I'm from. But yeah, so I would say that would be the best moment in boxing for me, was realizing that I definitely got the sauce to be at the top with these guys, and I can compete and beat some of these guys definitely. So that would have to be a big moment for me.
Okay. Question 18. What is your opinion of the YouTubers and the internet influencers getting involved in the sport of boxing?
Um, they I feel like they're capitalizing on their fan base definitely. Um, it kind of, to me as a fighter, it makes me feel a little odd and in about it, like an itch on my back that I can't reach because they don't know what it's like to come from that bottom and fighting the types of guys that we fight at the bottom to build our profile. They're getting paid that high profile money for that, not putting in the work that goes into showing up to the gym every day from a youth all the way up. It's good for them, but you know, their respect level has a cap on it for me. I'm only gonna respect them so far versus respecting a guy who's been in it, done it, and comes from what boxing is. That's birthed from boxing, mother of boxing. They wouldn't birth from the mother of boxing.
Okay. All right. Question 19. Why do you box?
uh my why has changed. I didn't think a why could change, but maybe it hasn't changed, but it's my why has gotten bigger, and the reasons that I box there's more reasons than what it used to be. When I first started, it was because I wanted to be the best amateur fighter in Kentucky at one time. Because Muhammad Ali was the best in Louisville, Kentucky at one time. So if I was the best, then I know that I'm a part in the talks of one of the on a nice list. Then it went to I want to be a professional fighter, and then it went to from being a professional fighter. Now I see that I can use this to pay for my kids to have a better life than what I had. The possibilities of that are great, and now I want to use boxing to not only help pay for my family to have a better life, but to be able to give back, to show kids that this is a way that you can make it, and it has so many different positive effects on your life.
Okay. All right. Question 20. So now I want you to think about this one for a minute. So if you could live as a person of a different race for 30 days, what race would you choose to live as and why?
Mm, I would say a Latino, somewhere of someone of Latino descent. And the reason I say that is because I already know my family functions when we all get together. It's a shindig. It's fun. Music, everything. Barbecue. Uh, so I understand. I've lived that
asset of being a black man and having that type of, the music blasting, basketball here, football there, video games in the back room. But coming from another aspect, I think that Latinos are kind of similar in that, but it's their spin on how the family fun. I'm a big family man. I got my 2 boys and my fiance. And I like a lot of people around me. I like my family. So I think that would be, if I had to change one for 30 days, it would be that, and it would be probably around the month of May when Cinco de Mayo.
No, he's gonna pick the month too.
Because I know if we go to the right places, it's gonna be a family shindig for a couple weeks.
Okay. Well, listen, I appreciate you taking time to come on and do the 20 random questions. I hope you had fun with them. If you want to say something to your fans before we end, go ahead.
Hey guys, I appreciate you guys following me. I appreciate you guys tuning in to my podcast. I'm really excited about this coming year and my career going forward. I expect to be busy every year. So next stop, we're going to Miami, Team Combat League. After that, coming back home, building up my resume even more so that I can get these fun, exciting fights. And Mr. John, when I go down to Miami after a few fights, we got to keep touch back. So you can tell you how it goes down there. And you guys follow me at _ Mayhem Moten on Instagram, and Timothy Moten on Facebook, and Mayhem Moten on TikTok.
All right. Hold on. And with that, the truth has spoken.